Have you ever seen love that was so real, so unapologetic, so deeply connected, that it shook an entire family, an entire community, an entire belief system? Because what you're about to witness is not just a love story. It's a fight against age, against culture, against tradition, against the people who say, this love should not exist. But tell me, who decides what love should look like? A calendar, a number, or a heartbeat? On the day of a sacred ceremony with prayers, flowers, blessings, and God as the witness, something happened that no one expected. A smile cracked into silence. A blessing turned into judgment. And happiness became a battlefield. Imagine standing in a room where everyone is smiling at you, but none of them accept you. Imagine loving someone so deeply that you're willing to lose your family, your place in society, your identity, just to stand beside them. This story begins with a coconut. Yes, a coconut. A ritual. A symbol of purity. A moment meant to bless a home with peace and love. But the higher the coconut was raised, the heavier the truth became. Because while the coconut symbolized blessings, every eye in that room was carrying judgment. And then it happened. One voice. One sentence. One moment that broke the entire atmosphere. She's old enough to be your mother. A silence. Heavy, sharp. Unforgiving. Now tell me, would you walk away? Or would you fight? Because they didn't just question their love. They questioned their dignity. Stay with me. Because what happened next changed everything. And if you feel even one heartbeat of empathy, support, or understanding so far, pause for 1 second and hit subscribe. Not for numbers, but because stories like these deserve to be heard. The coconut rested in her hands, like it held the weight of everything she had ever prayed for. Jenny's fingers were trembling. Not because the ritual was difficult, but because every pair of eyes in that house felt heavier than the coconut itself. Eyes that were not just looking, they were measuring her, judging her. Silently asking the same question. Why her? The priest began chanting softly, the rhythm of the mantras echoing through the room like steady heartbeats. The air smelled of incense, rose petals, and something else, expectations. Sumit stood beside her, close, steady, warm like an anchor in the middle of a storm only they could feel. He whispered, just low enough for only her to hear. It's okay. I'm right here. She didn't look up, but she nodded, because she believed him. She always had. Around them, relatives gathered, some smiling politely, some whispering behind half-hidden hands, some pretending to be busy with flowers, sweets, or phone screens, but still watching every movement, every expression, every mistake. One woman leaned to another and murmured, "She looks older than his mother." A soft laugh, quitting, sharp enough to slice skin, pride, and silence. But Jenny did not react. Not because she didn't hear it, but because she had heard it all before. For years, the ritual continued. The priest guided her to pour water, to walk forward, to step carefully. But with each step, the floor felt less like home and more like a test. She wanted to belong here, not as a guest, not as a visitor, not as a temporary chapter in someone else's story. She wanted to belong as family, but belonging was something no ritual could guarantee. And then came the rangoli. Flowers, colors, patterns drawn on the floor to welcome blessings and to keep negative energy away. How ironic. Because the real negative energy wasn't outside the house. It was inside. Watching. Restless, Sumit's sister, Shri knelt beside Jenny with fresh marigold petals. She smiled, gentle, soft, real. Like this, she said, guiding Jenny's hand. You make a small circle first. Then spread the petals outward. Let it look like a flower opening. Jenny listened carefully. She wanted to learn. She wanted to be part of this. She wanted to show respect, love, effort. This was important. Not just the rangoli, but being accepted while making it. Sumit watched them with quiet pride. The corners of his lips lifted, small but honest. For a moment, everything felt peaceful, warm, hopeful. Maybe, just maybe, this ceremony would bring everyone together. But peace, in some houses, never lasts long. Because where love tries to grow, ego often waits in the doorway. And ego always arrives loudly. The front door swung open. A group of relatives entered. Not smiling, not blessing, just looking. The kind of look that strips a person before a word is spoken. Among them was the voice that would soon tear the room in half. His aunt, traditional, strict, carved out of rules, expectations, and the fear of, what will people say? She walked closer, slow, deliberate. Her eyes scanned Jenny from head to heart, then to the rangoli on the floor. Her lips curled, not in approval, but in something cold and familiar. Disgust disguised as concern. Why is she doing this? The aunt asked. loud enough for everyone to hear. Sumit's mother shifted uncomfortably. Shree's smile faded. A silence spread across the room like smoke. Jenny froze, her hand still holding the petals, still trying to finish the flower that suddenly didn't feel like a flower at all. The aunt stepped closer. She is older her. She is older than us. Should not be doing this. She is not one of us. No one moved. No one spoke. No one stopped her. Words are easy to throw when you know others are afraid to catch them. Jenny felt her throat tighten, her chest burn, her eyes sting, but she would not cry. Not here. Not now. Not in front of them. She placed the petals down slowly, gently, carefully, as if letting go of something she had held onto for years. Her dignity, her hope, her place in this family. Sumit took a step forward. But before he could speak, his aunt raised her hand, cutting him off. Don't defend her. She's not a girl. She is a woman of age. You are young. You should be with someone your age. Someone who can give you a future. Children, respect. Not this. A gasp. A whisper. A silence heavier than prayers. Jenny closed her eyes. Not because she was weak, but because she was tired. Tired of proving love. Tired of proving worth. Tired of proving that age does not erase a heartbeat. She stood, slowly, gracefully, and when she opened her eyes there was no anger, no shouting, no tears, just truth. I didn't come here to replace anyone, she said quietly. I didn't come to take anything. Or to damage your family. I came because I love him. And because he loves me. And if love is a mistake, then let it be my mistake. Her voice didn't shake. But the room did. Because truth doesn't need to be loud. It just needs to be real. A breath moved through the room. Soft, uneasy, sharp. No one expected Jenny to speak. Not like that. Not with strength. Strength makes people uncomfortable when they've already decided you're weak. Sumit's aunt blinked slowly, as if Jenny's words were not allowed to exist in her world. She stepped forward again, closer. So close that even silence could feel her judgment. Love. She repeated, the word leaving her mouth like something bitter. You call this love? Her voice rose. Not loud, but slicing. This is desperation, loneliness, fear of being alone. Not love? Jenny's fingers tightened at her sides. Not in anger, but to keep herself from breaking. Because sometimes the deepest pain is not when someone shouts at you. It's when they speak softly, as if they're telling the truth. Sumit couldn't stay silent anymore. He stepped forward and stood next to Jenny. Not ahead, not behind. But with her, equal. If this is not love, he said, then tell me what is love. Someone younger. Someone society approves of. Someone who looks right in photographs. His aunt frowned. Love is what fits tradition. Nope. His voice didn't tremble. Love is what fits the heart. The room stilled. Even the priest, who had continued chanting as if nothing was happening, fell silent. Everyone was watching, not the ritual, not the prayer. Them. Sumit's mother, who had been quiet, too quiet, finally spoke. She looked tired, not from the ceremony, but from the years of trying to balance her son and her society. I tried, she said softly. I tried to stop him. I tried to change him. I tried to think like our people. But I couldn't change his heart. Her voice trembled, but she did not cry. And a mother, she continued, can fight many things, but she cannot win against her child's happiness. Jenny looked at her, for the first time that day, with eyes that were both grateful and wounded, because acceptance spoken aloud does not erase the years of being unaccepted. But the aunt was not finished. She turned, not to Gemly, but to the family, to the audience, to the judges. She will ruin him, she declared. She will isolate him from all of us. We will lose him to her. Jenny took a step back, not physically but emotionally, because there it was, the real fear, not age, not society, not tradition, loss. They were afraid of losing him, the same way Jenny was afraid of losing him. Pain on both sides. Different forms, same origin. But pain can make some people hold tight and others push away. Jenny didn't want a war. So she did the hardest thing love ever requires. She offered to leave. Her voice came out soft. The kind of soft that breaks stronger than screams. If my presence divides this home, she said, then I will step back. Not because I don't love him, but because I do. Gasps. Silence. Even the aunt didn't expect that, because judgment is easy, until the judge stops fighting back. But Sumit, he didn't even hesitate. He reached out and took Jenny's hand. Not like a gesture. Not like a performance. Not like a dramatic moment, but like someone choosing the one person they refuse to lose. If you leave, he said quietly, I'll walk away with you. The room shattered in silence. Stumpy. Real. Jenny looked at him. And for a moment, the world felt still, not safe, not accepted, but together. Together is sometimes enough. But the aunt wasn't done ruining the moment. Her eyes narrowed. Her voice hit like a stone. So you will choose her over your family. Sumit didn't flinch. I will choose love. Because family should not ask me to give it up. And just like that, the ritual of the celebration began to break. Not loud. Not dramatic. Just painfully, quietly, irrevocably. Because now, a line had been drawn. And crossing it would cost everyone something.